All right, welcome back to the WFT Declassified podcast. We are live with you all, fresh off the Jacksonville dub. How does that feel, Eric, to get a W against Jacksonville today?
It feels good to get a W against anybody, and Jacksonville's just as good as anybody, so I feel good.
Yeah, I love it, man. Brian, what do you think, man? How'd it go?
Oh, this was great. We needed to start fast. We did that. We needed to get the win. We did that. Everybody was picking, not us. So great way to start this third year of Ron Rivera.
Yeah, man. I tell you what, this is the time now for Ron Rivera to start showing some things, right? Year three, we got to make some moves. I was a little disappointed in the offseason moves or lack thereof, but the team showed up today. It was a roller coaster a little bit, but we're going to talk about that a little bit more. First of all, if you're not subscribed already, make sure you hit up Apple, Spotify, YouTube, anywhere you find podcasts or anything like that. Make sure you are out there, subscribe, Twitter, everywhere. Go get it, go do it, make it happen. Man, so many good things to talk about. It's been a while since we can say that. Let's start with the elephant in the room, Carson Wentz. Eric, give me your synopsis of his performance today.
Well, I think his performance was a synopsis of Carson Wentz and what to expect. I mean, you got everything in one game. You got big plays. You got ridiculously bad interceptions. And good for him that he recovered. I was a little concerned that he was just going to melt down. But man, he really picked himself back up and finished strong. He looked great to start the game. I think he was like 12 of his first 15 passes. He was picking them apart. He was checking down. He wasn't playing any kind of hero ball. Really didn't do that all day from what I don't really remember him hanging in, trying to make something happen. I think he really was good about taking what was there. A lot of dump offs to McKissick. I think he looked, it was the first interception was horrible. He looked at an out route the entire way and was late on the throw. The second interception was probably worse. He shares blame with Scott Turner. That was a crappy play call. They'd already run that play like 5 times. I mean, it's going to the wealth once too often. And it was also a great individual play by Trayvon Walker. Like, that was an awesome interception. Good for him. But 2 really bad interceptions, and it really looked like everything was going to fall apart. And then he just comes out and throws a dime to Terry down the sideline. And even before that, the third down play to Logan Thomas, that was a great throw. That was him, sidestepping, stepping up the pocket, avoiding pressure, getting the ball out on, a catchable ball to a reliable target. And then it set him up for the big play to Terry. And the throw to Jahan Dotson might have been even better. It was a little shorter, but he threw a perfect ball, and Dotson that was a really nice catch by Dotson. Who also had a really impressive game today too. The little he was on display. But Wentz, I mean, that's pretty much what we're going to see all season. We're going to see highs and lows. It's going to look a lot like that. And we got it all in one game. So we know what to look for now.
Yeah, those lows probably aren't going to manifest into 2 interceptions a game, but there'll be bad throws. There'll be plays that he misses. But I think you take that with what you saw on the field today. I mean, 4 touchdowns, clutch time plays. You got the whole entire package. And, dude, I was so pumped up about that. Brian, Eric mentioned Scott Turner. Give me your assessment of Scott Turner's performance as a play caller today.
I think Scott did a good job overall. There were some kind of painful things there. I mean, if you notice in the beginning or in the middle of the game, the offense kind of bogged down. It looked like he was just basically calling plays for Curtis Samuel, and that's great. But it was to the detriment of the offense because we really didn't kind of gain yards. We didn't do a whole lot. And then towards the end, when we started to open the offense back up, we started going to Logan Thomas. We started to go into Terry McLaurin, into Jahan Dotson. All of a sudden you saw the explosiveness that this offense can have and kind of the quick strike ability that, the potential for this offense to become. So I thought he did some good things. He needed to start fast. He got Carson. He got the ball out of his hands quickly to start the game, which was so important because for the past 2 years, we've done nothing but fall behind in games. We scored on that first drive, I believe. And then from there, I mean, we looked, much more competitive. And hey, with Carson, is there some things that, he made mistakes on? But with this offense that Scott Turner has around Carson, we always have a shot. We have a shot to score now. We have a shot to be competitive in every game. So I think Scott Turner did a solid job today. He does need to clean up some things though, and can't kind of get focused on any one player in particular, and kind of really feed our our two outside guys, Terry and Jahan. I mean, that they had some unbelievable catches and they were very explosive. So I was happy to see them get some catches.
Yeah, I tell you what, man. Curtis Samuel was back with a vengeance, right?
Oh,
It felt like he was playing with a chip on his shoulder today. Aside from the fumble, everything was just absolutely spectacular about Curtis. I don't know if we expected that level of involvement, and I'm curious to know if this is what the offense looks like on a week-to-week basis, where he's a feature player in the offense, or if this is just based on matchup and whatnot, and we'll see somebody else be featured next week. But we got to give props to my guy, Antonio Gibson. It's only right? He was really in that Deebo Samuel role today.
Yes.
And I thought that he looked like he belonged in that role. And I have been largely in the corner of play him as a traditional running back, give him carries out of the backfield, let him focus on that primarily. But I think you see what he can do. And it proved to me today that he can handle that role and really excel in that role. So I was very, very excited about that. In terms of balance with the offense, I think early on in the game, it felt like we weren't really committing to the run at all. And I was a little upset about that because I wanted to see them commit to the run a little bit more. It didn't seem like they trusted the running backs necessarily. Now, at the end of the game, you go back and look at the box score, it's almost a 50-50 split between pass and run. So they did come back to balance. Some of those carries went to Curtis Samuel, obviously, and things like that. But it didn't feel that way watching the game. But I'm all right with it. I mean, we got to win. You can only beat who's in front of you. Jacksonville's not the best team in the world, but you got to take those W's that are out there for you. A lot of different. Go ahead, bro.
Pass heavy. I mean, we were 41 pass attempts, and I think overall, I looked at it. Carson had about 6 carries, but those were scrambles just to kind of keep from getting sacked. But we definitely were pass heavy in this game, and the way it kind of flowed, that wasn't such a bad thing. But certainly, I think. Moving forward, hopefully we get a little bit more balance.
Yeah, what I mean.
No, I'm an offensive futurist, unlike you two, Neanderthals. I understand that the quick and horizontal passing game is basically a running game. So, I think it was 27 rushes that they had, but you had a lot of quick screens, a lot of quick dump offs, that kind of stuff. That's like basic, it's not really a Scott Turner. He's not really known for it. But that's like an old school West Coast offense principle. You use the horizontal passing game as the running game. So I'm not upset about the balance at all. I think it worked well because the passes they were short, efficient, a lot of short, efficient passes, which is basically a rush in my opinion. So I thought it was good, and not just that, but he did a pretty good job of spreading the ball around, which is another part of, we talk about balance, strictly run pass, but getting the ball to your tight ends, getting it to your receivers, getting it to your slot guy, getting it to your running backs, all of that kind of factors into the balance. So I thought the offense was overall pretty balanced today.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about when I say they were 50-50. I think they were more split in the second half. I'm tripping. They were more split in the second half is what I'm trying to get at. But all right. Let's talk about this. The defense, man. Trevor Lawrence started out the game. He was missing throws left and right. I felt like the middle of the defense was wide open. The whole secondary felt like it was wide open. Eric, is there any one place you really sort of pin that blame in terms of the defensive performance on?
I've got a lot of problems with the defensive. I guess I have a lot of good things to say about what we did today, but it's like, how are we playing defensive backs 9% of the time? But Jamin Davis is always on a wide receiver. How does that work? Every time dude was in coverage, he was covering, what's his name? Kirk. Yeah, Kirk. It was why is he the only guy covering Kirk? That was bothering me. But no, I thought Kendall Fuller really struggled for a good chunk of the game today. He really, I don't know. He got on that deep ball to Kirk, he got torched and he just looked lost. He didn't know where the ball was. He didn't know where he was. It looked like it was a disappointing game for him. He had the 2 back-to-back penalties. One was a little iffy, but the pass interference definitely was pass interference. You can't run into a guy without looking at the ball. So I think that they were really relying on getting pressure, and they kind of got exposed when the pressure didn't get there. Hats off to Derek Forrest, though. That guy earned himself some playing time because he was everywhere. But he was really, I mean, outside of him, McCain made a couple of plays. I didn't hear William Johnson's name hardly at all. So yeah, I think the defensive that's something to watch going forward. But yeah, definitely the pressure. When the pressure was working, it was working well. But when it wasn't working, the defense got torched. The secondary wasn't up to the challenge.
Yeah. William Jackson led the team in tackles, believe it or not. But I think that's a
Yeah,
lot
I
of
saw
him
that, but it was
taking
like
down
4.
receivers.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, I look at the defense, and they were very lucky today, right? Like Jacksonville had a lot of self-inflicted wounds. They missed so many throws. They dropped passes that could have been touchdowns, and they ran the ball well on us. Robinson had 66 yards on 11 carries. Everyone else, Etienne had some yards as well. They were running the football. If they would have stuck with that, the game may have looked a little bit different. But the defense still is a concern, and a lot of it is, it's really the scheme. These guys are so far away from where they're supposed to be. Whenever a wide receiver catches a pass, our defenders are nowhere near the ball. Like, we're always chasing somebody. Other teams, when we catch a pass, they're right there for us, right? But we are always chasing. We're always not in the right area. So they still got a lot of work to do. And hey, maybe this is a confidence builder for them. Maybe this is what they needed, right? They needed to get a win and, build some confidence, and maybe they can start to play better. But this won't work moving forward. They got to get a lot better.
Good thing, though. 3
Yeah,
of 12. Jacksonville was 3
Yeah.
of 12 on third down. That's fantastic because that was
Right.
one of our big concerns coming in. So great job on third down.
Yeah. You have to celebrate that after last season. I mean, look, are there things that could have been improved? Absolutely. But getting off the field on third down as frequently as we did compared to what we did the prior season and in preseason, as a matter of fact, we got to lift the team up on that one. I felt like, and I'm not looking at the stats for pass rush, but I felt like the pass rush was pretty consistent for the better part of the day after the first half of the first quarter. Because I tweeted out early on, I was like, man, that pocket for Trevor Lawrence is mighty clean right now, right?
Yeah.
But after that, they really seemed to pull it together. I thought they did some really good things along the defensive line. It was good to see Jamin Davis on a blitz, and he actually got to the quarterback, but there was a penalty that negated that. But that pass rush is going to be so incredibly necessary with the coverage issues that we seem to be having right now. I don't know what they're going to do to fix that issue in coverage. I don't know if you can, and maybe it's just a bad game plan, perhaps, or something along those lines. But it's something that needs to be addressed as we move forward. But I felt like when the game mattered, though, Jacksonville drove down the field and they scored. And we can't really have that against more complete teams, right? They're going to be quarterbacks that are a little bit more experienced than what Trevor Lawrence is. And Trevor Lawrence in the second half looked like a different guy for the most part, right? And I was hopeful that at halftime they would go in and adjust their game plan, and it just didn't seem like they did really at all change their game plan in terms of the pass coverage. So something to be worked on, but there was enough done to get the W today. And look, we scored 14 in the first half, right? And all last year we struggled to put up points early on. That mattered so much. Even though the defense wasn't holding them, the offense bailed us out time and time again. And one thing that I don't want to leave on the table here is that Carson Wentz threw 2 picks, right? And they were not pretty picks, but he bounced back. He came back and gave you more plays. If you guys remember when Kirk Cousins was here, one of the big issues that I think Jay Gruden had with him was that he didn't bounce back from bad plays, right? From turnovers and critical mistakes. It didn't even seem like they bothered Carson Wentz. I mean, to have the gall to throw those deep balls, the one to Terry and then the one to Jahan, after you just threw picks. And Jahan Dotson was not open, okay? He came off of that DB and made a play on that ball. And, so we should give Jahan his flowers as well. I mean, my God, the guy is a rookie, caught 2 touchdowns in his his first game of his career. The second one was monstrously critical, right? Essentially with the game on the line, and made a heck of a play on a throw. that I don't know that we've had a quarterback in DC that would have made that throw in God knows how long. So it was really, really nice to see.
On purpose, anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, lots of guys that would throw terrible passes.
That is
for
the
anybody out there who was, before this game, I know there was a lot of talk when Jahan was drafted. Oh, is he just a slot guy? Can he play outside? Like I think he answered that. He can play outside, and if guys are going to press him, he can handle that. And those hands are legitimate. Like he can catch.
Yeah, for sure. It was good to see Logan Thomas out there too. He made critical catches. Obviously wasn't out there for the full run that you expect to see him as the season goes on. As we talk about this, look, Carson Wentz adjusted to not having his top level tight ends in the game by finding receivers on the outside open. And it to me, that's a good sign. Like, I don't want to get overhyped, right? I mean, I'm hyped, but I'm not trying to get too overhyped, I should say, because it's first game of the season. Jacksonville, you don't really know who your team is until the first quarter of the season has gone by. But these kind of things, I think we can take away from today and say, look, we have some really positive things that are going on with this offense in DC. How far we go this year seems like it's going to be completely determined by how much of a defensive effort we can put together when it matters in games. And I think today we got bailed out by the offense, but that needs to improve on the defensive side. Eric, any final thoughts on the game today?
Derek Forrest, game ball. Jahan Dotson, game ball. Carson Wentz, game ball. Good job.
Yeah.
And Joey Slye made his first kick. Golf clap.
Yeah,
you don't get a game ball, but you get a golf clap for doing your job.
Golf clap for Joey Slye. Brian, why don't you throw some game balls out there and give some final thoughts?
Game ball has to go to the two tackles, the defensive tackles. I thought Jonathan Allen and Daron Payne stepped up their play in today's game. They got a lot of pressure. I think both of them had a sack. So those two guys get a game ball. Absolutely, Carson Wentz gets a game ball. That was a great game. And also, too, if you guys saw, there were a couple of throws that he just missed the wide receiver. Like he overthrew Milne, he overthrew Logan Thomas. So, he's got the potential to that could have been a much bigger day for him as well, too. So hopefully that's a sign that, hey, we've got, once he works on some things and gets in a groove, he'll be even more explosive and the offense will look that much better as well. So I thought those two defensive tackles did really good.
Yeah. Game ball, Antonio Gibson, right off the rip. You know what time it is. Brian, you should have given it out. Brian couldn't bring himself to give it out to Antonio.
Well, that was your guy.
Yeah, we know who's giving the game ball.
I couldn't take more
fumbles and you'd give the game ball.
You couldn't do it. Okay. Let's go game ball, Daron Payne. You hit on it, the tackles. I thought Daron Payne was outstanding today. And I'm going to give game ball to Logan Thomas for coming back from that injury and also just putting it all out there. I mean, it's tough to come back from a big injury like that, but he made plays when it mattered. So shout out to him too. I tell you what, I didn't love what I saw from Cole Holcomb today and really all of preseason. I don't know why it seems like he's regressing to me, but I think it looks like he's regressing. So we have some issues at linebacker to solve. And I don't know how you solve those in the season, but I think we need to address it. I felt like Derek Forrest was such a spark in that secondary today that I think he really carried the team in the second half. I hope Bobby McCain's all right. But I do want to see more Derek Forrest. I thought St. Juice was okay from what I saw. I'm not a huge St. Juice guy. I thought he was okay. He got a couple of pressures on, or at least one pressure on Trevor Lawrence in the first half that I think prevented a completion. And I hope that Fedarian Mathis is okay. I don't like the pick, but I like the guy as a person, and I hope that he's fine. That knee injury looked pretty brutal on the replay. But hopefully it's not. It's just, some hyperextension or something like that, and he can get back out there pretty soon. All in all, I thought we did well. And I think, it showed that we have the ability to compete this year. And I think we said this last podcast, but I think at the end of the year, the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to be a good football team. Are they going to be a playoff team? Probably not. But I think we're going to look back on this win today and realize it was a much better win than what it looked like at the time, right? So, hey, that's it. We got a W. We opened the season with a win. Everybody's happy.
One more game ball. The Trey Turner, he lost his starting job to Wes Schweitzer. Schweitzer came out of the game in I don't know, maybe like the second offensive drive. He played the whole game, and some of those big runs that Antonio Gibson had, he was one of the guys pulling and getting to the second level to help open up those holes. So I thought he looked good, and I mean we didn't really notice any drop off or anything like that. So that was good to see after he didn't play all preseason.
Yeah. Hey, shout out to whoever painted the end zones too. Those look fresh, and that crowd there was pretty decent. From what I could hear on TV, it looked like it was a pretty strong crowd too. So shout out to everybody who went out there to the game and enjoyed themselves. Yeah, it seemed like folks were really, really into the football game, and I can't tell you how good that feels to say, because there's been so often we watch football and it's kind of like, I'm gonna do something else while I'm watching the game or whatever. But today, you felt like you had a reason to watch. So hopefully everybody turns up the next time that we're at home. But all in all, a good W today. Thank you for checking us out. Make sure you are subscribed on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts. What is it? Anywhere you go. Amazon. We're on Amazon too. Take a moment, subscribe, follow, listen, Twitter. Stay with us. We appreciate everybody. Thanks for everybody tweeting with us during the game. It was a lot of fun. We appreciate all the opinions, and we will catch you all next time. Peace.